Good morning and happy Vlogmas day 1. I literally cannot believe we are here already, mainly because I feel like I just did this because I did, since I did Vlogtober, which was 31 days of vlogging nonstop, and then I took a whole month off. I apologize, it was unplanned. Like, I really had good intentions. I made like my calendar of like all the videos I wanted to make, but it did not happen. I think I got one video up in November. I'm so sorry. I knew that I would die if I went from daily vlogging to 3 videos a week to daily vlogging again. Like, whew, it's a lot. But hello and welcome back and happy Vlogmas day 1. For maybe the 2 people that are watching this that have no idea what Vlogmas is that time of the year that lifestyle YouTubers usually, or just like vloggers in general, will vlog every day from December 1st through the 25th, so through Christmas. So you get 25 days in a row of vlogging, and this is my 5th year doing Vlogmas. That's crazy to me. I know it's gonna be stressful, it always is, but I had so much fun with Vlogtober, and I think I figured out like a rhythm for me on how to make this great. So we're gonna be testing it, and I'm starting out with really high hopes, and I'm really freaking excited. I hope you guys are too. So make sure you're subscribed down below if you're not yet already. That way you don't miss out on daily vlogs. But something really exciting that I did get in a vlog that you guys saw. I'm in the food closet, so Freya's like, what are you doing, huh? What you got? I ended up getting this like weeks ago. You smell it? It smells really good, huh? But I got this, which is a Deck the House with jerky, the ultimate 25-day advent calendar for doggos. Because last year I did an advent calendar because Griffin got me like a Yoda sock thing, if you guys remember, and I really enjoyed that. So I saw this at PetSmart and I had to get it for Freya. Excuse me, I know you have to, can you sit? Thank you. So every day there's a new piece of jerky in here that we're gonna feed Freya. However, I wanted to do the first one here on the vlog, obviously because it's really exciting, but I am gonna do, can you sit? Thank you. But I think I'm gonna do this every day on my Instagram. So if you guys aren't following me on there, make sure you do, because you will want to see this cuteness every single day. Are you ready? She was born ready. Indoor number 1. Look at that piece of jerky. This is for you. For Vlogmas day 1, bubs. Will you go to your bed? Good girl. Say, I am ready for Vlogmas day 1. All I know is that Freya's gonna have a wonderful Vlogmas with this freaking thing. If you want one for your dog, I got it from PetSmart. They do have cat ones too. However, when I went, they were sold out and I haven't seen them yet. But if I come across one, I will get one for Kitty, but they haven't had one. But I think I wanna start Vlogmas day 1 off with a coffee out of my kitty mug, because I haven't yet gotten my Christmas mug out. All of my fall decor is still up as of right now. We will change it over. I just haven't done it yet. So we're going to use this mug. Gotta move this out of the way. So if you've been around, you know the drill that on Vlogmas day 1, I always work on the Vlogmas intro. And that's it for day 1, because I like to kind of ease myself into this and take my time, because usually the intro takes me 12 hours to do. Like, if you've watched all the other day 1s, like, I absolutely hate it. So this year I've decided to not hate it, like just to make it easier on myself. And I actually came up with this idea for like the Vlogtober intro, because I was like, I feel like I want a different intro for Vlogtober, but I started working on one and it took too long and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. So I actually just revamped my current intro with like fall colors and stuff, changed the music, changed the pictures kind of thing, and made it Vlogtober. So I've decided I'm gonna do the same thing for Vlogmas, because I'm not gonna stress myself out to make an intro or like a brand new intro when like the one I have right now is perfectly fine. So that's what we're gonna do today, but I'm gonna walk you guys through it and show you guys how I do it, because that's what I do every year. So if you've been dying to know how I make my intros, and especially this one, because I do have a video on how I made like an old intro of mine, but this would be like an updated version of how I make my intros, and it shouldn't take too long. I say that, but it probably will. I'm of course gonna screen record for you guys so you can see like everything that I'm doing. So let me get that started here. Alrighty, so where to begin? Okay, let's just take a look at my actual intro. Of course, it's gonna be easier for me because I can just copy and paste this and then just change stuff in it, but I'm gonna break down how I actually made everything. So first I'm just gonna copy my actual intro and paste it into a new project on Final Cut Pro. This is not gonna be a Final Cut Pro tutorial, so if you don't really know how to work Final Cut or anything like that, I have another video on how, like, basic Final Cut Pro stuff, but this is not gonna be that video. I'm just gonna show you how I make my intro on Final Cut. So as you can see, and as you guys know, it has like this blue star background that kind of shuffles back and forth. I have the date that's always there, and it switches to some pictures that kind of go with the beat, and then of course my like name glitchy thing that always happens. So very very simple, not gonna be that hard to switch over into Vlogmas, but I'm gonna show you how I made like all of these elements, even though they're already here. We're gonna pretend to get rid of like everything. I'm just gonna like ignore that. So we have this background here that's just a color with some like VHS kind of effects on here. We're gonna start there. We're gonna make this background color, which of course is gonna be Christmas. I'm not sure if I wanna do red or green, but I'm just gonna Google like Christmas wallpaper background colors and see what comes up, because I might like something, but probably not. Google's always like a hit or miss. And as of right now, I'm not really feeling any of this. If you're wanting like a marble background, you can Google that and just pick something that you like and save the image. All you're gonna need to do is find an image. So I think I'm gonna do red for my intro because that's more Christmassy. So I'm just gonna do red color background and see if I like any of these. Because to me, I like it to be a certain hue, which I'm kind of like in this one. So I'm gonna save it. Okay, so we're gonna go back to Final Cut Pro. I'm going to import my red, so we just have this. And also within Final Cut, if you click this little triangle thing, you can play with the coloring, so I can make it brighter or darker or kind of play with it. So I'm gonna make it a little bit darker, just a tad. As far as the VHS effects, I already have those saved. It's a Max Novak VHS overlay pack. I'm not sure if this is what I got, but probably. So I will link this down below in case you guys are curious, because it looks like this is the one that I got. But since I already have it, I'm just gonna go into my documents here and open it up. When it first comes up, it's gonna look gray until you select it and go to the reel, and you can pick the blend mode. And when you try different things, it's gonna change the way it looks. So I don't want to use the subtract. It doesn't really look that good. But basically for my intro, I find some sort of an overlay. My aesthetic is like VHS kind of things. So find one of those or find whatever you're liking. You can play around with the different blend modes on things to make it look different ways, but this is what I'm pretty happy with because you can see a lot of the grainy effects, the lines moving, has some dimension. Now if we look at the next layer of my actual intro, you'll see that they are little stars. But if we also look at the Vlogtober intro, I of course did the same thing, but as you can see, I did different pumpkins because I wanted to change it for Vlogtober. So we're gonna do the same thing for Vlogmas, and I'm probably gonna do like Christmas trees and presents. But to do that, I actually draw it out on my iPad. So we're gonna switch my screen recordings to my iPad now, and I'm gonna open up the app Procreate. This is the app that I use to make all of my thumbnails, highlight covers, anything that's like doodly, I do in Procreate on my iPad. So the same thing goes for like the little pumpkins and the stars and stuff like that. And so I already have files of the stars and the pumpkins because I like to save my work. So I'm just gonna duplicate it so I know it's the same size and everything. But if you're starting like a new project, the size is 1280 by 720 pixels. That's kind of like the YouTube size that works best. But I'm gonna leave the layer that I have here because I'm gonna use this as my guide for drawing the new ones because I like the placement of where these are. But I'm just gonna like change the opacity down so that way I can't see it as much. We're gonna go to a white pen. My favorite pen to use is within the calligraphy, and it's just monoline because then everything is the same. I just want to check the sizing, and I'm gonna make that a little bit smaller. Perfect. I like to doodle, but I'm not the best. So I'm actually gonna search Christmas tree clip art and go to images and see what they have here and try to find one that's like not too complicated, which this one seems pretty easy because I'm just gonna be doing the outlines. There's not gonna be any colors or anything, so I'm gonna add that to my photos. And then I'm also gonna look for a Christmas present clip art for me to kind of draw as well. And again, one that's not too complicated because it's only for like a 30-second intro clip, but I'm gonna save those photos, go back to Procreate, and in a new layer, I'm gonna insert one of those and just kind of resize it to one of the sizes of this pumpkin. And then I'm gonna insert the present and do the same thing with different pumpkin, start a new layer, and then I'm just gonna trace it and draw over this. Do the star, little dimension of the tree. And then I'm also gonna go over, of course, and just do circles for the different bulbs. So then when I look at it without the image, looks good to me, looks like a Christmas tree. That is all I care about. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the present. And there you have it. So now we have a Christmas tree and a present. What I'm gonna do is bring back my base pumpkin layer, and we're just gonna duplicate these like a bunch of times. So I can have like 4 of the presents and 4 of the trees. And then I'm just gonna move them around and kind of like match them up with the placements, play around with different sizings, make sure that there's not like 2 Christmas trees right next to each other. And then do the same thing with the presents, and that looks pretty good to me. And to get the effect that I like when they like alternate, I guess you could say, is basically you have to make 2 of these, and then you just alternate when they're showing on your screen for them to look like they're kind of like dancing or bouncing in a way. So I'm just gonna duplicate 1 more present and 1 more Christmas tree. I'm moving those to the top just so I don't get them mixed up, and then I'm gonna merge all of these so that way I have 1 layer. And then we're basically gonna do the same exact thing by duplicating these about 4 or 5 times for this new layer. But the key here is that you want them to alternate. So wherever there's a tree now is where I want a present to be next time. And then wherever there's a present, I want there to be a tree. And I want to also switch up the direction and the size. So if it's a small present going this way, I want a big tree going this way. And then once I have that layer looking how I want it to, we're gonna do the same thing and merge all of those together. All right, so I'm just gonna save each of these as PNGs and then airdrop them over to my computer here. And we're gonna switch back to my laptop here, and I have my 2 images here, so I'm just gonna drag them into my project so I can see what they look like. And there's the effect. Now, the one thing I like to do is move the opacity down a bunch because I don't want those to be like the main focus. It's just background noise for the actual intro, so I'm just gonna change that. So that way they're lighter. But that's how I get this little like dancey alternating effect. For now, we're gonna leave it like this. I do want this to follow music, but since I don't have music picked out yet, I can't really change that. The next layer to my normal intro is the date and that kind of thing, which I am going to change to like Vlogmas and then day 1, day 2 kind of thing instead of the actual dates. So we're gonna just alter that, day 12. And then I can change that whenever. If you're wondering about the fonts, I use Avenir Next, but I use it in the heavy italic font, and that's how I get that. And then as far as like effects to it, I have an outline here. You guys can like take a look and screenshot that in a way with a drop shadow, and that's kind of how I get the effect. It also has like the underwater effect on it, which is how it kind of flows. The underwater is a free effect that comes with your final cut, so it'll make it look like this, but you're able to change how strong you want it, which is why it's not this bad. And the same thing with the day 12, it has the same underwater effect, but this font is a sketchbook. The next layer of my intro is this like photo part that bounces with the music. I did the same thing with my Vlogtober intro. So I had fall photos in the back, changed my Polaroids and changed it to It's Spooky Season with little ghosts. So we're gonna do the same kind of thing. We're just gonna find like Christmas photos. I'm gonna change out the Polaroids and add new text and everything. But let's go ahead and find my background photos. We're just gonna be in Google here and maybe actually Pinterest, because Pinterest has really cute pictures. So we're just gonna look up Christmas aesthetic and see what we come up with here. They're not gonna be like super visible because they're behind the Polaroids. So it doesn't like really matter what they look like, but I still want them to be kind of cute, or at least all the same like hue. So if they're warm tones or cool tones or whatever. And I feel like I need to steal the cookies because that's something that I always make, and y'all know I eat them raw. Like it's like a me thing. Like I want this to be personable to me. I'm thinking I like this. This one's probably more of the same hue, so we're gonna take that one too. Basically just downloading anything that I see, because if I don't like it, it doesn't matter. Oh, puppy, this dog is here. Now we're gonna look for puppy aesthetic. Oh my god. Oh, and it's even an Aussie. Okay, we're stealing it. How freaking cute. But one thing that I like to do to kind of spice it up, that way it's not just a square photo. If you can see, there's like little edges here. So I'm gonna do that. And when you mark up, at least on, you know, a Mac and stuff, you can choose like how you want to do that. And I'm just gonna do the lasso selection and just do a fun shape, just so it's not like square, and then you connect the lines and crop it. Now it just looks a little bit more dimensional, and I'm gonna do the same thing with this. Actually, I'm gonna keep that one. We're gonna do the same thing with this one. Just a fun little shape. And this one I use the smart lasso, which is what makes it kind of have those like ragged edges versus the smooth edges. So I want my puppy photo to replace that like sunset photo, so I'm just gonna like place it right above it, so that way I can cut it down to the same length. And when you copy something from this photo, so Command C, I can Command Shift V it to a new photo, so that way this new photo will match whatever kind of like edits I've made to it, like the positioning, all of that kind of stuff, which is really helpful. So I'm gonna do the same thing this one, so that way it kind of follows it, and then I can delete these because now they're replaced. So moving on to this photo, what do I want in the top right corner, because that's the one with like the sucker and the girl. I'm thinking I want to do this one, so we're gonna place this right above it, cut it down, Command C, Command Shift V, enter, Command C, Command Shift V, enter. And then the next one we're gonna do is the cookies. And that's gonna take place for the paper. That's how I change over my photos. I do wanna change the like treat yourself because I changed it last time to like spooky season. So I also wanna change it to something Christmas. So I'm just gonna look into Pinterest as well, Christmas aesthetic text, because it'll come up with something. Hopefully. Felice Naughty Dog, like that one's really cute. So I could definitely do that, which is actually, it's just a PetSmart thing. Like you can save this image, but you can also screenshot it from random things. So I'm gonna save that just in case. See if I come up with anything else. Merry Woofmas. I like the Felice Naughty Dog better. So we're gonna run with that. And then I can throw this in here and there we go. So now we have Felice Naughty Dog. I am gonna make this bigger though, because I want it to be bigger because I think that's hilarious. And then the last thing to do is to switch over my Polaroids, which I actually use a website for, which is called Canva. If you guys don't know what Canva is and you don't already use it, you are missing out. It's a free website. You can pay for it for like pro stuff, but I just use the free version. This is not sponsored. I know it's gonna kind of sound like an ad, but I've been using this literally ever. So I already have like a template here for a Polaroid that I can just plug and chug photos into, but I made this. So it's literally just a photo that I put over a white background with like a black low opacity transparency kind of thing behind it to make it look like a shadow here. So it looks like a Polaroid. I also need to find the photos that I want to use, which of course is going to be on my phone. So let me do that real quick and send those over to my computer. So I sent over 3 of them and I think I already know which ones I'm going to use, but I at least just chose my first 3 that I liked. I feel like I definitely want to do the Christmas tree because Christmas. Duh. And then the second one I either want to do with this wreath because it's also Christmassy, but I don't know if that's too Christmassy next to each other, or me with like my Christmas coffee because that's more like fun. Now the reason I save them with like the pink background isn't because I like want the pink background there, it's just because I can edit it here and take it out to make it transparent. Because in Canva, if you want to do that, you have to pay for the pro version to get a transparent background. So this is just my way of getting around it because I can very easily take that out. So we're going to definitely be using the tree. Cut it down to size, copy the placement and everything, and then I think I'm gonna like the coffee one. There we have it. There's that layer. Of course, this timing of when it changes is gonna change depending on the music I pick, but for now I'm just going with whatever I chose before because it's easier because I like these placements already. So now I can move on to the next one, which is all of my like text, which again goes with the music. So I just made a whole bunch of separate text and timed them all up to go with the music and all of that fun stuff. And so I'm just gonna copy and paste that over here because I know that I want it to be exactly the same. The timings might change again with the music, but I want the same look, so we're gonna keep it. The fonts that I used is Bebes Nue. I don't know how to say that, but that's the font I used. It's in regular. My outline and drop shadows are here if you want to look at that and kind of copy that. To get them to flicker like this, as you can see right here, I just made it disappear and then made it come back like a split second later. So it looks like it's flickering, but I'm manually making it do that. And then the last layer to my intro is just like a little self-promo-esque kind of thing, unfortunately, for my Instagram and stuff. So that way you can potentially get people to like follow my Instagram. So I just screenshotted the like bio of my Instagram and put this photo in there. But you'll see that it's doubled. That's because I made it semi-transparent to make it look like a shadow on both of them, even though it's the same image, but when it's covered, it looks normal. But it makes it look like it has a shadow. But that is basically my intro. Crazy, huh? The last step for my intro is to find the music because of course I would want all of this to like match the music. I use Epidemic Sounds for all of my music. I actually just came up on my like 1 year, so I got charged for it again. So I've been using it for over a year now. I do pay for it because it is a subscription kind of like service. It is the best thing I've ever done. Like if you're gonna spend money and you do this often and you do a lot of montagey moments and you need music, this has everything. So again, not sponsored, but I really like this website and this is what I use for all of my music. The good thing is you can literally just search Christmas and you'll get a bunch of stuff. And it's just about listening for hours. Yeah, I'm gonna search through. This usually take me the longest of finding music because I think it is important. So I'm gonna find some music. Once I find one, I'll come back and show you how I like make it all match up with everything. Let's freaking do this. I found a song that I think I like. This is also kind of part of it. You just have to try it. It has a good section here that there's like a build-up, which I usually like to throw in some of like my intro clips there, like blooper or just like funny stuff before the intro. And then there's kind of like this break and then the intro would start. That's what I'm thinking. So this is what I'm talking about. Build up. switch, intro. You know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm here for it. Let's try that. We're gonna mess around with this and see if I can get everything to like match on beat. The key to this is just paying attention to all of this. Like this green here is all the audio waves, and anything there's like something punching up, that means there's like a beat there. And usually I like to hit all of those. So right when I want my intro to start is where this first upbeat is. We're gonna see. Perfect. And now it's just a lot of like meticulous stuff. So anytime a new thing starts, I just want it to add up with the beat. And this takes me a while, but I like it because I think it makes the world of a difference if it actually matches. And it drives me insane when I watch other like videos or vloggers and stuff and they don't do that. So I don't know if I'm just like picky or like really anal about it, but I personally like it, so I take the extra time to do it. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna take me a while, but here we go. We have done it, folks. I finished the Vlogmas intro, so let's take a look. Happy with it. That's really all that matters. It's simple. It didn't take me that long, but I also had to make the outro, which is the same way. I didn't walk you guys through it, but I'll show you what it looks like in a second because that is it for today's video. I always start Vlogmas day one just on making my intro because I like to spend the rest of the day editing and kind of getting ahead for daily vlogging. So wish me luck this year. Make sure you guys are subscribed down below, that way you guys don't miss out on anything, and make sure you follow me on Instagram if you haven't yet already, because there's of course gonna be stuff happening over there. Freya's gonna get her little advent jerky calendar every day over there, so I'm pumped for this month. But I love you guys so much, more than you will ever know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!